Business Dialogues for Good, a series of inspiring conversations with business leaders dedicated to business for good. In these discussions, we explore successes, challenges, opportunities, and world-changing ideas. Join us, get inspired, and be part of the change.
Welcome to the Business Dialogue for Good Leaders. This video podcast is a discussion always between two leaders who are doing their business as a force for good. That means, I always think, that if these companies would not exist, the world would be a little bit worse off than it is now. So with their existence, the world is better off. This episode is a discussion around the very important question: how can ethics and purpose help in building a global and profitable business, with all the challenges that go along with that. And in this episode we have two important, I would say phenomenal business leaders with great ambitions. On my right hand side I have Eelco Keune, who's the chairman of the board of, I would have to say maybe Royal Keune.
It is.
But Keune, it is a B Corp, it's a family business existing more than 100 years, 103 to be exact this year, and delivering products to tens of thousands of hairdressers. I'm not a big client of that, as you can imagine. And on my left-hand side, I have Frank, who is the founder and the CEO of iTeam Global, a global company producing equipment for cleaning. So welcome to both of you in this studio. And I would like to start maybe with you, Eelco, by asking you, what exactly does your company do?
We make people happy and give them confidence with the help of hairdressers. So we provide products since 1922 for hairdressers only, so they can make people look more beautiful and feel more confident at their salons worldwide.
You deliver to only hairdressers,
yes,
not to the general public.
We're really proud of is that we're the only brand in the entire world that has been loyal to the salon professional for over a century now. So every company wants to be unique, and we are unique in this way. Yeah.
And that means that those hairdressers are also loyal.
Yeah.
To you the other way around.
It's the nice thing about this promise is that it's becoming more and more appreciated. Yeah. So by sticking to the plan, we're becoming more special.
And then if I think about it, Eelco, you have tens of thousands of hairdressers. Every hairdresser has a certain average number of clients.
Yeah.
What is that?
Approximately 1,000. Difference if you're in India or in Belgium, but on average it's 1,000. Yeah. So we reach millions of people. Yeah.
Millions of people with hair you reach.
Yeah.
There. And Frank, tell us a little bit about iTeam Global.
Yeah, we are proud developing cleaning machines and cleaning tools for what we call the professional cleaning market. Around the globe there are 11 million cleaners, and we try to give them what we call better equipment, that they are more proud about the job they do, and it helps if you give them good tools to work with, and that is the main purpose of our company.
So there are how many cleaners you think in the world, Frank?
11 million professional cleaners. It means they are working for a cleaning company, let's say with a brand, Sodexo, Urest, CSU in the Netherlands, that we call professional cleaning companies. And there are maybe also another 11 million, they are in the self-cleaning market. So for example, McDonald's is a self-cleaning thing, and if you do not make milkshakes, you can do cleaning, and that's what we call self-cleaning. So we think in total is around 22 million. Our main focus is what we call the professional cleaning market, because it's more easy to reach as the self-cleaning market.
And cleaning does not always have the right kind of image. That is badly paid labor. Cleaners are not.
Yeah,
always...
but I think let's say since I would say since for sure Corona, let's say they have recognized cleaning as an essential what do you call business. Let's say for health, cleaning for health was important there at that point, and since then I think the cleaning world has given much higher wages to their people. But we think that the word cleaning should go away, and we would call them hospitality hosts. So Eelco was just talking about healthy and happy people, and also we talk about healthy and happy people, and the cleaning people, which we will call hospitality hosts now on, are doing that. They are making a building ready to make you happy in that building, because it's organized, it looks clean, it's clean, and it's maybe also safe. And that's also.
So this is a program from happy people to happy people. So that is the good news. But I would like to focus a little bit with you, starting with you, Eelco, and then to you, Frank, on your reason for being. Your company is, I would say, intrinsically driven, isn't
Absolutely.
it?
Yeah,
And maybe you can tell us about why that is.
maybe that's something to do with the origin of the company, because it was founded in 1922 by my grandparents. Very inclusive back in the days, because my grandmother was the boss, and my grandfather was the chemist, and he developed the first perm in the world. And so we really felt the need to create something which wasn't there, but there was a strong need for back in the days for permanently changing your hair. We are well aware that together with the hairdresser, we can make people feel confident. When we all think about COVID, most professions, they were not allowed to practice. But in Belgium, they understood how important a hairdresser is for well-being. So they said, okay, all contact labor is forbidden except for the hairdresser, because we need to do something about the well-being of our citizens. And I think it's a proof of how important this is for society. Yeah.
And for you.
And for us. So we stick to the plan. We are salon exclusive, and I think the salon professional deserves a dedicated partner. And
But also for you as a person, Frank, in your case, when you started iTeam Global, you started with a why. Why? What was your intrinsic drive?
In intrinsic drive, we saw that there was an ability to give the cleaner, let's say, much better tools as they had available, but not only better tools, or long-lasting tools, more easy to repair, and lower, let's say, consumption of water and energy. So this combination of these five, we saw a chance, let's say, to combine them all five and bring that to the market. But also very important was that we recognized that a cleaner can only do their job very well if it's not boring. And boring means that you can give them much more tasks in an hour, as that you say you need to do 1 hour, let's say, skinning potatoes, because after 20 minutes skinning potatoes, you think, okay, I have enough potatoes and I will do something else. But in cleaning, sometimes I have to do 1 hour the same. So we have thought, okay, if we can give what we call tools and machines where the job can be done faster, there is much more things they can do in an hour. So it's get less boring. And if we can make it attractive looking, design-wise, then also other people will start to have an interest in the job they do. So it's a kind of a double purpose.
So your intrinsically drivenness, so to speak, brings a better business. And so I would like to focus a little bit on that. So, because otherwise you can say, well, because you do this the way that you do it at Keune, you make more money. But I would hope that it goes a little bit deeper also to you as a person.
No, I think you mentioned this very well in your introduction, because my goal or our goal is not to strive for the lowest possible footprint. I think that's a necessity. I think every company should try to minimize the negative impact they have. But what I find personally way more interesting is to see what is the world missing if we stop existing. And that drives me even more. So, of course, we try to make the best possible product with the lowest possible footprint, using post-consumer recycled plastic, less waters and all these things, waste ingredients, all these things. But what I personally found more interesting is try to use our business as a force of good, the payoff of B Corp, which I like very much and inspired me. I was this summer or last summer I was in Brazil, witnessing a program we run, who our partner runs in the favelas or the communities as they wish to call themselves, where we help people that are deprived from education or labor market to become a hairdresser, and by doing so they can provide their own livelihood and make a living. And that was really that struck me very much. I never felt such a power we can have, if you will.
I'm a little bit jealous on Eelco because he is already 103 years old. He doesn't look like that, but anyhow, let's say we are not in totally. But I think at the end, you're looking for what can I do for the world, and we have chosen a water program. We call it Made Blue, a liter for a liter, and on this way we are proud to see the face of people in Africa who didn't have clean drinking water, and by our program they have clean drinking water, and if they have clean drinking water, they also can be more healthy, and later on they can start to think better, let's say, and learn better. And this is the way how you can educate people which you do not know, because we do not know them, but at least, let's say, we can give them a way of to get a better future. And this program at the end, let's say, is giving hundreds of thousands of people, let's say, cleaning drinking water, where we have families and children, let's say, which have a chance now to make what we call a decent life. And that makes us proud as a company that we can do that.
Yeah, so you, the mix of your inner drive, your inner ethics is in the company, so you don't only make money, but you also make yourself happier.
In fact, we're not driven. Maybe it sounds a bit strange, but we're not driven by making money. We are driven by making a positive impact, for sure. And I think by doing the right thing consistently, at some point you will be rewarded for this. But it's not a goal on its own. It's a result of doing the right thing. So in fact, our goal is not to become the biggest, but to be the very best. And that's what drives us every single day.
Yeah, it is. But every single day, your intrinsic drive. What you now see in the current days is a little bit of a pushback. In my perception of companies that don't have this intrinsic drive, but think it's a burden to become more sustainable. But you must feel that as well. So what is your opinion about what you currently see, that we can delay regulations? We think that ESG is nonsense in America. In some states it's even criminal if you invest in ESG. So does that influence you in your business or in your personal? How's your view on that?
Yeah, first of all, I think we can say it's a pushback, but there is a trend in the world, let's say, from I would call the old green thinking, let's say, is now getting into what I call the normal thinking. People says, okay, do not throw this away, recycle this, let's say, bring it back to the things, make better products. This kind of trend which came, let's say, under influence of the people which were thinking green maybe 20, 25 years ago. So that trend is still keep going on, no matter which law is going to be passed or not passed. Let's say, I think people are now in that thing, and our children and grandchildren, if you would have them, are thinking like that also, and they are getting educated now like that on schools.
And how do you, Eelco, see that not only in your personal life, which is also interesting to hear, but also in your business life? Do you feel any change by the current wind that blows, or not at all?
Not personally, but I regret this mindset what we see across the globe, very much so. But at the same time, I think it's just a phase, right? It's just a phase, and I think we don't think in quarters. We are a third generation family company, we think in generations to come. So we have our horizon is the dot on the horizon is not will I be re-elected next year. So I think those companies with the right moral compass will make the difference. So even if there is not a government that says what we should do or should not do, I think the driving force of businesses is the winning force. So we it doesn't hold us back doing, or doesn't make us change or make other decisions. We keep on do what we have been doing, and we're on the right track. And the good thing is we are being rewarded for this. So people want to work with our company because they believe in our purpose. And I think, in fact, it should not be the government who decides if you are a winning company. You should rely on your own strengths, and that's what we do. So it's a pity that this sentiment is absolutely out there, but I'm a positive person, and I think the positivity will prevail, and companies know that if they make the difference, that they will be rewarded for this.
If you look 5 years from now to your companies, and I'm certain that you look at least 5 years ahead in your companies. To start this, the discussion is, you once told me that a hairdresser is one of the very few people who you allow to touch you.
Yeah.
And that is, when I walk in the street, people cannot touch me. But when I sit with a hairdresser, of course they have to touch me. And then I become very personal all of a sudden. So that is a mechanism that is that gives you a huge amount of power, I would almost think.
Yeah. I believe that everyone, almost everyone, goes to a hairdresser, whether it's a rocket scientist.
Even me.
Or, I don't want to say this, your words. Or Greta Thunberg. Everyone visits more or less a hairdresser. So we want to, and I think we're one of the first. I don't want to be the smarty pants here, but I was stunned by the fact that this wisdom is not harnessed yet. Because I think in principle we can have the biggest thinking tank in the world, knowing how big our reach is. 10,000 hairdressers, on average 1,000 clients, so we can reach tens of millions of people. And I'm a strong believer of when you're sitting in the chair of a hairdresser that you can talk about the weather, but that won't change. So I invite hairdressers to talk about how we can make the product better, how we can make lives better. And that's why we created this platform where we can harness those ideas and as a force of good. And I really believe in collective wisdom.
Do you have a kind of an open thing that people can throw ideas to you?
Yeah.
You have a kind of a web box, or I do not know what that people can.
Yeah,
you reward ideas.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Like this, we will launch a platform on which people are able to share their ideas. And I think for a hairdresser, it's nicer to talk about their profession and to talk with their clients about what they might have as a suggestion to improve the product than to talk about something more irrelevant. So,
but you're not still circular, that the hairdresser takes the hair and bring it back to you, and then you to bring the hair to something else. These are one of these ideas that someone came up with. But so far, the footprint of collecting the hair, and it doesn't pay off yet. But I encourage everyone to come in with these kind of forward-thinking ideas, because we can change the future.
But do you then think about the hairdressers or about the clients of the hairdresser? Because I can imagine in your case, Frank, you have millions of cleaners, as you just said.
Yeah, we think, let's say, at the end of the day, that the cleaners, the same as I think the customers of the hairdressers or the hairdressers are a source which you can use or influence a certain trend into the market. For example, an example is maybe at home, you can still use chlorine, let's say, to clean. But anyhow, if you do that on a professional scale, it's not good that you do it because you inhale it, let's say, it creates other issues, health issues, but people are not aware of it in the home scale for it now. So this kind of things, creating awareness about it and helping them to make the right choice. So let's say, if they would stand in the choice of the right job, let's say, an alternative for it, that's programs we like to make if we are grown up. If I'm grown up, then I will do that.
So you both have a tremendous source of indirect clients, so to speak. But now I want to come back a little bit to you. We started with your ethics and drive. You both run a sizable company. What are the biggest challenges? And one of the challenges that I would like for you to comment, Eelco, on is you said at some point in time, I don't want to be the only one who is intrinsically driven, who drives this. So how do you get all those people with you, or how do you face that challenge?
Now, strangely enough, it should be me as an inspiring leader, but this was not the case because I thought I was. But then I have to take one step back because our marketing director 10 years ago told me you should apply for B Corp. And I said, no, we should not, because I don't want to tap myself on the shoulder and saying how fantastic we are by doing good. I think you should be modest at these things. But then our Brazilian partners told me 5 years later the same thing. And he said, yeah, but you other people do, and they do a worse job than you. So please do me a favor and please apply for B Corp. So that's when I did. And one of the first questions the company that helped us in this process was, does everyone in the company know your idea how to use your business as a force of good and what your objectives are and what your moral compass looks like? And I had to confess that the answer was no. I thought they were, but they weren't. So it helped me to identify the blind spots. So the good thing is we became B Corp without having to change anything. So apparently we're doing the right thing without the certificate. But it helped me to identify these blind spots. And now it is everyone in the organization knows. And we're brutally transparent about our objectives, even if they're hard to reach. And so it is. It's like a process, and B Corp helped me creating this process and making people more aware about it. That we need each and everyone to make the difference.
And how do you do that, Frank? Because I know you're a strong leader and you go in a certain direction, you follow that. But how do you get your own people and your partners?
Yeah, well, I think it's a little bit the same as Eelco says. Let's say you look at it, you do things, let's say, because you believe in it. You're already doing a lot of those things. So it's a normal, for you it's normal, let's say, but you didn't communicate it on the right way to everybody in your organization, and not everybody has the same, what I call, elevator pitch about it, let's say, in total. And then means, and then life is assumptions, not? You assume that they know it, but they don't know it because it was never really properly communicated. And so we are now in the phase you were in, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, let's say. I do not think that any of our business network customers have said, okay, Frank, why you don't think to become a B Corp? So that was not our what I call stimulation for it. Our stimulation for it was more, okay, we do a lot of things, let's say, but how we organize it, that everybody starts to understand, let's say, that this means something, and that we are a good company, and that we want to use the good company to do good things for other people. And that then has maybe a name, let's say, call it the B Corp, where you then more easy can standardize the programs to the future, because you have a kind of a framework that you can work with, and the framework came there, maybe the same as in their company, by doing loose things, let's say, never combining to one. And if you would add them all on the table, you say, oh, this and this and this and this fits somewhere in that framework, and that's more or less the situation we had. And now with the help of people who we made dedication to look at the B Corp framework and the BIA framework inside, it's now, let's say, much better organized.
To spread the word. And that is so, we are nearing the end of this edition. It always goes quicker than you think. But I would like to challenge you a little bit. And that is, you are intrinsically driven leaders, but many are not. So I'm always wondering, how can we reach the masses, so that how do we get out of our bubble, and how can we bring this to a more massive scale, so we really influence making the world a little bit better?
I think it's just a matter of time. I think, like I said, the political environment, it comes and goes, but companies have a more rigid and sturdy compass, I hope for them. So, and I see that doing the right thing drives people. So if I look at how easy it is for us to find and attract good talent now, is because they believe in our purpose. And it can be in your company, your other purpose, but the people I'm strongly convinced that the best people want to work for purpose-driven companies, because you can work everywhere. So let's work at a company where you can make a difference rather than make money. So I'm really positive. I think I'm impatient, so I always want to speed up things like you do. But okay, that's a fact. But I'm convinced it's a matter of time before it's irreversible. Positivity is the only driving force that will help mankind. Yeah.
And how do you look at that,
I believe more, that we are building a big theater, let's say, in our new building. Let's say it doesn't mean that the studio goes away, stays in this building. And there, I think, with the help of you and others around us, we like to create conferences for what I call education of children on all kind of levels. And I think we need to start there, no matter if it is the secondary school, the primary school, or what I call university levels. On all things, I think we should start to communicate, let's say, what is this all about, let's say, and what is, for example, a BIA and which elements are in it and so on, so that on a certain natural way they start to learn this, let's say, and if they go somewhere, they take this in consideration. And again, if we make the assumption that everybody knows it, I think we make a big mistake. So we have to put more into education. I think that's one of my big jobs in 2000.
So it's both very hopeful, addressing new generations, being positive about that. This is an irreversible direction, as you say, with many challenges that we still have to face. You're both very intrinsically driven people, business people. Your companies have a real purpose. But how do you think about a company that says, we also have a purpose? Does that immediately mean that the market believes them? That is, I would almost say we have a marketing purpose and a real intrinsically driven purpose. How do you look at that?
I strongly believe that people can distinguish right from wrong. So they have a nose if this is a true story or a made-up story. So I think, although it sounds appealing and interesting to say, okay, every company put a purpose,
and then it's good,
and then you're good to go. I don't think this is the. I don't think it will work. And honestly, it takes effort. So I'm glad people feel and acknowledge the difference between real purpose-driven companies and just companies that
we have seen that. A lot of people in financial report were saying MVO, and then later on they are saying this is our purpose, but it's just a statement in a financial report. And if you then visit that company or talk with their people, let's say nobody really knows what it means and nobody really knows how it is being executed. And I would say one thing, people have a feel for it between good and wrong. And I would say the ones who have the best feel for it, my experience till now, are female people. If women has another sense as men, let's say,
so people immediately sense if this is real or not real.
Yes, and a woman even has that more as a man. Let's say for sure. That's what we notice. If they come in, let's say maybe the husband didn't say anything, but the wife said already something. We see that about the story, or if people walking around talking to our team members, they are the first one who comment to that.
So the purpose-driven marketing programs, let me develop your purpose, and that kind of stuff is not
works maybe for a short time, but not for a long time. So at the end, it looks like it works because it works for a short time, but it doesn't really works on a sustainable way for the future.
Okay. Well, I would like to thank you both, because we have many more things I think that we could discuss, but we have come to the end of this episode. And I would like to thank you again, Frank, for hosting us here.
Thank you.
You, Eelco, for coming all the way over here from your great company and define a purpose and help other companies to define their purpose and business ethics. And thank you for watching this episode of the Business Dialogue produced by For Good Leaders. These are For Good Leaders. And every month we cover a critical business topic with leaders of companies with the purpose to help you to also improve your business. So be inspired.